nerds, Monica here. Welcome to the Data Podcast for Nerds, where we get to talk to amazing professionals and ask them all about how they use data to solve the world's problems, highlighting all of the wonderful data careers available out there. And also, we always include some fun bits because we're all nerds here and we love to have fun. So today with us, we have Neema, Madayi, Veetil. How are you doing, Neema?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic, Monica. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, nice.
So, we typically start off our show understanding people's origin stories and their backgrounds on how they got into the careers that they are today. So, can you please tell us a little bit about your story?
So for everyone who doesn't know me, I'm Neema, and I come from India, southern part of India, which is called Chennai, Tamil Nadu. And I did my bachelor's in computer science, and after completing bachelor's, I got into a top MNC and as a software engineer role. And just 11 months into being a software engineer, I thought of I wanted to learn more. So that's when I got enrolled into Northeastern University Boston, as completed and started doing masters in computer science at Northeastern University Boston. And that's when I started taking courses relevant to data science. I never knew there was a career called data science or data analytics, to be honest. So I started taking courses like statistics, machine learning, and data science coursework. So then I realized that I need this to be my career, and I focused on taking courses and assignments accordingly. And but however, due to some visa issues and personal problems, I had to travel back to India. I did not continue in US. And but during the coursework, I did had a chance working for a company called Bank of New York Mellon as a technology analyst. So I just want to record it here because I have a couple of colleagues whom I'm still contact with now. And so when I came back to India, I had no job, nothing. I came back India, and just within 2 months, I got my first data analytic job in India, and it was a big credit company. And that was my first step into data analytics world. And fast forward to 9 years, I am now in a mix of data analyst and a data science consultant role. So that's the whole story of my origin and background, Monica.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that story. Can you go more into what you do today, specifically? What is your title and your main roles and responsibilities?
So I work at Verizon. It's a US telecom company, and my official role is I'm a senior engineer consultant, system analysis. But the responsibility is like basically it's a data analytics plus data science, and at the same time it's a techno-functional role where I have to speak to stakeholders and the US counterparts on business. So, day-to-day level, I work on analysis to find out how the customers are treated in terms of how the agents are resolving their issues. Secondly, we also work on certain predictive models to understand if there are any churns or to forecast, see if there are any future churns happening in the telecom company. And additionally, I also look into reporting team where I measure the metrics, where we see if the numbers or the reports or the dashboards are improper, and we do the housekeepings as well. So these are the predominant work that we do. Apart from that, we have offshore initiative, that is India only initiatives, which is like the side projects that we do within this team specific. So yeah, these are my roles and responsibilities at work.
Very cool. Can you go more into the side projects? Like, what kind of data are you working with, or problems are you solving with the side projects?
Yeah, so work related, it's again still the telecom, I mean, Verizon's data that we play around. But we also write articles, we discuss, we have cross collaboration with different teams to understand how they work and how we can support them, or at least reach out to them how they can support us. So these are the side projects at work. So other than that, I do several side projects at a personal level. So
Okay, okay. Well, I feel some fun bits coming on in that case then. So let's get into these personal side projects. Can you tell us a little bit about those, and what are your favorite side projects to work on?
yeah, so for the personal side, you might already know, Manuka, I have a YouTube channel. So I do produce content in YouTube channel, and something that I started recently is creating portfolio projects. That is to build projects myself and showcase it to the data analyst or data science aspirants, as in to give them an idea, like you can use the data in this format and put it in your portfolio so that the recruiters can find you. So I've started that in terms of generally, I started with two videos are already up. That is predicting a churn model and also a time series forecast. But my main interest in a fun thing that I would like to do is, which is I'm going to start, is looking into K-pop industry. I'm more into this Asian brand. So looking into this K-pop industry, the music label, and you can scrap data, right? You have a lot of APIs, so you can use those functionalities, and that is something that I'm working on. I just want to give a tidbit on how what I'm doing. So these are the cool stuff. Like I just want to see how what are the K-pop brands that are coming up, and who are the idols who have the most following fan base. So these are the things I'm like currently looking, and it's kind of fun for me because I closely listen to their music, and that's the personal side and side projects that I do.
I love that so much. Can you go into more about like how you pick the side projects that you're working on? Because it sounds like you pick some related to work and then some related to passion.
Yeah, so with related to work, why I choose churn analysis and time series is because within my span of 9 years in the industry, I felt all the organizations are trying to solve this problem. It is either they don't want the customers leave, or second, they want the revenue coming in. So I thought, why not use this as a portfolio project? Because a lot of companies want people having this foundational skill on understanding what is churn, what is revenue, and how to build a forecasting model. So that's why I picked those two particular projects. And the second is side project is, as I already mentioned, I am a K-pop fan. I follow several groups, K-pop groups, and I literally like want to see how they grow, how they have uh, how they have grown past their several debut years. So that is something like basically like you need something right out of your passion that you can work on with respect to data science. So that's the idea where I thought, like, why not look into K-pop industry. So if you know, for example, you know an industry, I mean a brand called BTS. It's a well-known group, right? So they are under the label called Hype label. So I'm looking into that their YouTube channel and trying to get data, scrape the data from there, and see if I can get in any insights or like anything interesting to show to the world of data.
Oh, how fun. So, how do you, especially with your passion product projects, how do you manage your time there? Because I've been on some passion projects myself and I can spend hours upon hours on one specific project, but you need to somehow cut off the amount of time that you're spending, right? So what's your advice there on how to limit or time box yourself with those types of projects?
Yeah, so for me, time management is I have a particular schedule where I work on side projects. Like weekdays, our time is like we have around 10 to 12 hours of working hours, and we start in the morning 11 a.m. We log in just by 11 a.m. And until then, I have free time. Like I go for my yoga class the early 6 to 7 a.m. And you have a gap, right, around 3 to 4 hours. So that's when I start doing anything relevant to side projects, and that is for the weekdays. And weekends, I spend time on Saturdays, because Sundays I do not touch any work. It's completely family time for me. And Saturdays are like I'll work on my side projects. So those are the hours that I strictly use. I don't try to mix it up, because then it's going to be a hectic thing, which can take a toll on your mental health.
Absolutely. So you mentioned that you have a YouTube channel and you kind of cover a lot of really awesome data science tips, general health tips, and also some book recommendations. Is that right? Are you a
Hmm.
book nerd?
Right, yes, Monica. I am.
What are you currently reading right now?
Yeah, so I am currently reading parallelly two books. I'm reading one book which is called The Millionaire Fast Lane, and I don't remember the author name. I think it's a big author name. And second is I'm also reading the Almanac of Naval Ravikant Naval's book. So that is the two book that I'm reading currently, because they are basically talking about how you can leverage your skills into making it as an income, passive income. Secondly, is it is also talking about your uplifting your motivation, and it's a kind of a positive book that you can read and encourage yourself. So those are the two books that I'm reading currently.
I really love those encouraging books that just are so uplifting, right? I'm currently reading Illogical by Emmanuel Acho, and that one's just
Oh,
like, oh, it's so good.
nice, nice.
You also include some book recommendations on your YouTube channel. And I noticed
Yeah,
that you've covered some of my favorite books, the Data Science in Business and People
mm,
Skills for Analytical Thinkers.
yeah.
What is your ultimate favorite book that you've done a recommendation on?
My ultimate favorite book is the Ace the Data Science interview book. It's by Nick
Mm,
Singh. So
yep.
I feel that's the only book you need to prepare. I don't think that there is anything else that you need to see, because the sections that he presented, and this the problems and the solutions. If you cover the whole book, I'm sure we can all crack the interview uh, easily. It's that awesome. So I always recommend. Even I people have asked me for a copy of the book, like the PDF version or the printed copy, which I don't want to do, because obviously the author has taken efforts, right, and it has to go across in a direct channel, not like I have to
Mm-hmm.
give it. So I recommend everyone this book, because it's the ultimate book that everyone needs to get in, to prepare and get yourself a job.
Love that. I also noticed your most recent YouTube video was about interviews. Is that correct?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Can you tell us a few of the top tips from that?
Yeah, so in how to interview preparation, my recent book, I mean, recent video is how to prepare for a data analytics or data science in 2023. And why I did this, because currently we see a lot of changes in the market. People are getting laid off. People are trying to get a job. So in that span, I thought, why not write some post. If you see my post, I am writing couple of posts with tag prep with Neema. So I write those posts to keep myself on check. It is like something that I learn daily, and also I give content to people so that they learn with me. And so for the tips, I have given tips on how to prepare resume, because that's the first and foremost thing where recruiters wanted to know, recruiters or your hiring managers. So it is important for all of us to prepare nook and corner of the resume, because we put keywords to bypass the ATS system, right? The
Mhm.
applicant tracking system. So there are a couple of people who write every keywords like Python, SQL, Tableau, Power BI, everything. But when they ask some questions on that, we don't prepare and we are not knowing, we are not aware of it. It shows a red flag. So that's one tip that I gave to in the video. And another tip is to talk to the recruiters and understand if the job opportunity is for you. Because I recently had an experience. A year back, I was getting interviewed for a big company, and I cracked a couple of rounds. But and the final round was an online interview where a guy from US was interviewing me, and only in the last round we realized that he was expecting another person who's in a reporting background, where I'm looking for a opportunity which is kind of a machine learning background. So my time got wasted, his time wasted. So it's not a good thing, right, to end your job search that way. So that's another tip that I gave in the video, is to always make a check on what is expected and make sure that the job that you're getting interviewed is something that you want to go for. So yeah, and there are other things like doing mock interviews. Have a friend, try to do mock interviews, because if you don't do mock interviews, definitely you will have that fear of facing the recruiter or the hiring manager, right? So that's another thing. And the last thing is, never underestimate the behavioral interview questions. Those are the trickiest one, because you can prepare, you can work on Python, you can work on SQL, that's all is okay. But sometimes you get to get questions on teamwork or stakeholder management, which you need to know how to present yourself. So yeah, those are the tips I've provided, Monica, in all those videos.
Those are amazing. As far as the mock interview, I agree with you. That is very important to kind of just get your nerves kind of out of your system and to feel more comfortable about it. And great tip about the behavioral questions as well. Those are very important. One other topic that we haven't touched on that I don't think is included in your YouTube channel, at least yet, is your love of K-dramas. You mentioned that you like K-pop, but what are K-dramas and how do you incorporate or plan on incorporating that into your data work?
So K-dramas is it's basically Korean dramas, and it's a series kind of thing that we watch in Netflix. And I must say, I just got into it 2 years back, and it was I'm a person who watch a lot of thriller movies or something that is very scary, and also I got into it by looking into one series which was action oriented. So I was like, I was very thrilled, and I didn't sleep the whole day. I was watching the series, and I finished the whole series within a day. And
Oh,
that's
wow.
how I got addicted. And it's not addicted, I got like a kind of a time pass for me, other than work or LinkedIn or any side projects that I do. But it sometimes it can be a disadvantage, because when you get into watching those videos, I literally procrastinate a lot of my things. So
Mm.
so that's my main interest. Like, it's one of my guilty pleasure to say, like watching K dramas, and they are so funny also. Like, there are several genres. You have romance, you have action oriented, you have funny melodrama too. So those are the things. But I had never thought in a data perspective. If I have to think about data perspective, then I can only think about the Netflix recommendation, and see, like, if you look into my Netflix account, all of them are Korean dramas. I don't get any other thing other than that. So I can maybe do anything related to that data and see what are the next potential recommendation I can choose myself for watching K drama series. So yeah, that's what I would do, Monica.
Okay. Okay. I like that. What's the name of the K drama that you watched all in one day?
That was the name is called K2. It is a complete action Korean drama, and it has all the suspense element, and also I couldn't restrict myself, so I watched it within a day.
I'll have to look it up. When you mentioned K drama, I quickly researched it, and what came up was Squid Games.
Squid Game is one of the Korean drama.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think it has got a massive audience in the West.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that is one of the drama. I actually started watching the drama, but it was too much for me to see, like all the all the killings, all that stuff. It was too much for me, so I just didn't work. So saw that. I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
it was intense.
Yeah, it was
That was the
intense.
only one that I saw quickly that I was familiar with, but I'll definitely look up the other one that you recommended. Well, I'm sure that you are constantly learning new things all the time and applying them to your personal projects. I wanted to ask you, how do you go about learning new things and what are your go to resources?
Hmm. I so I like to stay in up to date with the trends, Monica, because if you don't upskill or yourself or be in touch with the trends, you are going to be left out in the whole community. So now that we see a lot of Chat GPT, Open AI, or generative AI things coming up, currently I am like taking courses on generative AI just for my understanding. It's not that I'm taking up a big 2 year course or 1 year course. Just an introductory course offered by Google, which is the generative AI learning path. So I'm currently taking that just to understand what it is, or how I can leverage it, or maybe I can make this as a career for myself. So I would always recommend to stay up to date with the trend and see what is happening, and get to know what are the skills that you need to be updated, because you never know if you will still be sticking around with Python next 10 years or 15 years. So you need to always be updated on the skill set. And for the courses or the resources, I go with the um, Coursera is one platform. Definitely, they give incredible courses with reviews. Secondly, is I am looking into courses that are offered by Google, because they have produced some good courses like Google Data Analytics course, Advanced Data Analytic course. And second and thirdly, I feel in a job market, a recruiter or a hiring manager, they look into certifications from these big companies like
Mhm.
Google, Amazon. Like we have certifications for Google Cloud Platform, and we have certification for AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. So I'll always tell my friends or people who I know is to always follow these brands and see how you can get your name into it. So that these are the points where the recruiters note. So yeah, these are the resources, Monica.
Do you have any final words of encouragement or recommendations for the listeners?
Yeah, sure. For the final encouragement is, or the recommendation is like, if people who are starting out in this field or for any field, like the youngsters, you don't have to restrict yourself because someone is going to think you're not good enough. So never ever listen to those people, because I have been in that situation and did not start my LinkedIn journey or any data journey for a couple of years because of that. So I always recommend people is to start your journey irrespective of what people think, because nobody thinks about you as much as you think about yourself. That is what I always think. So you always have to do what you like to do and go forward. Constructive feedback is necessary to make changes, but never ever restrict yourself because someone is talking something in the background. So yeah, those are my encouragement, Monica.
Great encouragements. Thank you so much, Neema, for coming on the show with us. If
Thank you.
any of the listeners have questions for you, where can they find and or follow you?
Yeah, so I am actively in, I'm most active on LinkedIn, and secondly, I'm always on YouTube generating content. And if people comment on it, I'll definitely be available there, helping or supporting. And thirdly, I am also on Instagram, but on not on a daily basis, but at least I'm active or some sort. So these are the three platforms people can reach out to me.
Amazing. Well, thank you so very much again, Neema, for coming with us on the show.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Monica. Interesting questions that you have, to be honest. I had a fun chat, to be honest, with you all, and share some of the sites that not many of us, many of the users know. So it was definitely a fun episode for me.
That's great to hear. Yes, we're all nerds, so we just love to have fun, and I'm glad that you also had fun sharing.
Absolutely.
And as always, folks, happy learning.
Happy learning.